He's never gone to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Drops mic. Mic.
Sharí, I know you gave your thoughts earlier about Dan Hurley turning down the Lakers position as a head coach. A reported offer of 60 or 70 million. But Scoop, what are your thoughts about probably the hottest coach in college basketball saying no to Hollywood and LeBron?
He's never gone to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Drops mic. Mic.
I was waiting, hold up. There's got to be more. He just looked at me smiling.
Put the sound effect in. Boom.
He's never gone to Los Angeles.
Would you like me to expand more?
Yes, please.
I'd be happy to have that.
There was a report last week that came out that JJ Redick was the favorite. Many people in Los Angeles felt that was the case. I will tell you that ESPN, the person who employs JJ Redick, may have been a little bit concerned about that because Doc Rivers was a cautionary tale of just basically signing a deal and then jumping ship. And if you think about it, the first report that came out was a couple of days before the NBA Finals, and then the report about Hurley came out the game one of the finals, and there was a level of optimism. So there's a couple of things that stand out. Obviously, for the report to come out the way that it did on Hurley, Walsh, who broke the story, wrote a book about Hurley's dad, which is a New York Times bestseller. He would definitely have the information related to what was going on. But from what I do know about JJ Redick specifically, and people that I speak with that are familiar with his thinking, there's an interest in coaching, but Los Angeles was not necessarily as interested as some may think. I know that there were gauges of him looking to piece his staff together as far as assistant coaches go, but ultimately, the Los Angeles Lakers have a lot of things on the inside that need to be figured out. And as much as LeBron was posturing with leverage and, some would say by sitting courtside at the Cavs game and, wanting his son to be drafted, Philadelphia can also draft his son. And LeBron does have options on that end as far as Philly goes. But as far as Hurley goes, that was all leverage to get UConn to offer him an extension. And he got what he wanted. The Los Angeles Lakers got rid of their head coach in Darvin Ham, who had a very difficult job in trying to create unrealistic expectations of winning a championship. And who wants that drama? And I'll be honest with you, as much as, the Lakers is interesting to, maybe interesting to JJ Redick, he may take the job, he may not. It's different hosting a podcast with LeBron James versus being around him day to day. And the other thing is this. As much as we're talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who's to say that if the coach isn't to Anthony Davis's liking, he doesn't request a trade?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
I love that, giving us a behind the curtain look at how everything has come together. And yeah, we all know what you see put out there. There's always an agenda. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's a bad agenda or a good one, but it's coming from a certain source for a reason. And a certain reporter or host insider is reporting it because of their contacts. And you have to have that perspective when you take in information as opposed to, so JJ Redick is, the favorite. They've been looking at him all along. Or Dan Hurley's the favorite. No, that's not what's going on here. If you really understand how sports and business works when it comes to these head coaching positions and other moves. But yeah, the Lakers position is just not as attractive as it once was, right? Because, they have very little patience. Their management, the roster management, I should say, has not been great. Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss definitely deserve some smoke there for their miscalculations. Going all the way back to 2020 after they won the NBA Finals in the bubble. So I'm not completely shocked To Scoot's point, I thought, yeah, this is probably a leverage move, but I didn't know, because if they offered him $100 million, 8 years, that was going to be the thing. I was like, okay, I'll do it. But he's not a West Coast guy. So yeah, I think the Lakers, they have a lot to figure out, while the UConn, they're just getting better.
The Hurley situation from a Lakers future standpoint does make sense when you have Rui Hachimura and some of the other younger characters. You have Christie, you have some of the other guys, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis are still on your roster. And I don't know that Hurley moves the needle for LeBron James in that way. These moves at this point of the Lakers partnership with LeBron seems very much the ending of Miami in 2014, where he ended up leaving and going to Cleveland. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but if you read it between the things that I'm saying, leaving is an option. And I think that's away from your topic of just Dan Hurley, but it's kind of the cherry on top to the whole cake, where there's a point where it runs its course. So if you're LeBron, are you just chasing stats at this point, and you're just kind of okay with not winning rings? Because maybe, he's comfortable with that, but he doesn't owe the city of Los Angeles anything else. He won a championship, whether you want to criticize the fact that it was the bubble or not. And going to Los Angeles was about production. That was about Space Jam. That was about the shot. He gave Cleveland a championship. Yeah. He got a championship. Going to Miami was like going away to school. But ultimately, at this point, it's about what LeBron wants. Like, it has to be bigger than just drafting his son. And it has to be bigger than just riding off in the sunset. So if you know anything about LeBron, you watch LeBron, his moves aren't that predictable. There are other teams out there and other players he can team with and potentially win if that's what he wants to do. It comes down to what he wants and what the Lakers want. I think they're both throwing smoke screens, if you ask me. The Lakers can say they tried by getting early.
Well, I'll say this very briefly. Any coach that comes into that space and position and accepts it has a lot on their hands, because you have to deal with the duality of a superstar that is going to get whatever he wants, but who's also on his way out, and also bear the weight of a team that still needs a level of development to move into the next iteration of what the franchise will be.